read short stories
from junior grade books.
We have divided our class into groups of twos,
and each group chose a scene
from a short story,
using clay,
Legos, and other props
to create stop-motion animation
to depict scenes.
Most of our animations
run at a frame rate
of about 12 frames per second.
So sit back, grab some popcorn, and enjoy the show.
Cato's Wall by Harold Corlander and George Herzog. Modern Cato's Wall by Barry and Sammy. Modern Cato's Wall. We chose to animate Cato's Wall, but wanted to make it a bit more interesting by making it modern instead of medieval. We chose Legos, but because they are easy to work with and make it into a cool animation. Our animation was at a speed of 12 frames per second. That's a lot of pictures. We took nearly 200 pictures. We chose the scene of Cato going to the king because we liked the idea of him riding his car to the king to get the grain, then getting food poisoned. Before, we didn't know how much work, time, and effort it took to make less than 30 seconds of animation.
The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. The story is about a kid who likes to play with the tree. Every day he likes to play with the leaves, climb up on her trunk, sleep in her shade, and eat her apples. The boy and the tree like each other very much. We chose this story because we like the story of the kid and the tree. They love to play together, and when the kid was older, the tree helped him, and the kid gave the tree a new friend.
We learned from our work that we need to take a lot of pictures for a few seconds of animation, and we learned how to use Movie Maker. It was difficult to make sure that the props moved only when we wanted them to. When we recorded the sound, it was hard to place the audio at the correct point of the video. We took 148 pictures, and the animation is 18 seconds.
Padhu Naruha by
Noah
and Eli. Where's my spear?
I threw it.
Go get it.
Fine. Hello, is anybody home?
Yes, it's an old lady. Can you please come and work for me?
Yes.
It was really fun making this animation because we made it out of clay, and designing it was really fun too. I'm glad we had this opportunity to do this. I want to say thanks to Mr. D and Mrs. Gamlin for this animation project.
In this photo, Eli and I were shooting the scene when Padhu was walking to an old hut that he found in the woods.
This is the author that wrote Padhu Naruha, Humphrey Harmon. He was a very famous author with African folktales.
In our animation, we chose the story Lenny's Red Letter Day when Lenny and Parkash were playing Monopoly. When Lenny and Parkash were playing, money went missing and Parkash's family blamed Lenny.
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
experience, we learned that you have to work very hard to make not even 1 minute of an animation. Also, that it takes a lot of determination to make a great video instead of a garbage video. This is Bernard Ashley. He is the author of Lenny's Red Letter Day.
In our story, Cato is a very rich man who has a lot of surplus corn. One day he decided to use his extra corn to build a wall around his house. A drought came and everyone in the city left but Cato. In our animation, we show Cato eating the wall.
He scraped away a little bit of the flour wall and ate it. The next day he scraped away more of the flour wall and ate it. The wall got lower and lower. Little by little it disappeared. A day came when the wall was gone, when nothing was left of the elegant structure Cato had built around his house.
We chose this scene because we thought that in animation this would look very cool. We learned that you always have to look out for mistakes in animation. 170 photos made 13 seconds of animation.
The No Guitar Blues by Gary Soto. The No Guitar Blues by Gary Soto. Fausto was a boy who really wanted a guitar. He thought about how he was going to make money to get it. The guitars were very expensive, so his mom said that she couldn't promise anything, even for his birthday. He was on the curb and a dog came and sniffed his leg. He brought the dog to his owner and lied that the dog was lost. The owner gave Fausto $20, but Fausto felt guilty about keeping it. He told the man that the dog wasn't really lost, and the man thanked Fausto for being honest.
Why did you choose the story?
We chose the story because it was not too easy and it was not too hard. It was just perfect for us.
What did you learn from the story?
We learned that you should always be honest and do things in an honest way.
How many seconds is it?
26 seconds long.
How many pictures is it?
320.
Munchkin I chose a book called Charles. Charles is about a boy who gets in a lot of trouble and tells it to his mom but makes up an imaginary boy named Charles. Then his parents find out that their son is Charles. We are just doing one scene where Charles slams a seesaw on a girl's head. He gets in trouble and he gets sent inside for the rest of recess. We chose that scene because it is full of action. We learned from this animation that things can go wrong and nothing good comes easy. Twice our video was deleted. Then our audio disappeared the first time, but it was fun. We took 70 pictures and it took us about 7 hours to do the animation. That's including all the times that it got deleted, all the clay making and everything else.
The third day was Wednesday of the first week. Charles bounced the seesaw into the head of a little girl and made her bleed, and the teacher made him stay inside all during recess.
The story of the Bat Poet is about a little brown bat that learns about poetry from a mockingbird. He then makes a poem of his own. While his siblings are sleeping, the little brown bat sings his creation. A bat is born, naked, blind, and pale. His mother makes a pocket of her tail and catches him. He clings to her long there by his thumbs and toes and teeth. And then the mother dances through the night. The Bat Poet, an animation. At the beginning of the year, we read the junior grade books. Short stories that tell of people and animals. Some have personification. After we finished these books, we all partnered up, chose a story, and began to animate a scene from that story.
At first, Polly and I had to plan what our animation was going to be like. We decided to have a couple of bats in a tree while the sun was up. Then, the bats would go off the branch and take flight off screen. We were all handed planning sheets on which we drew out our plan and wrote down our notes. Then we were ready to make our supplies.
We decided that clay would be easier for the bats to move around, so with the help of Mr. D, we made 2 bats and a tree. That day, we went on a field trip to ImaginOn, a wonderful theater that has a studio for animating called Studio I.
While we were filming, we made the decision to sing a poem from the bat story in the sound room of Studio I. I sang and positioned the bats while Polly filmed and controlled the audio.
The filming was a success. When we came back, we did some editing and it turned out to be great. We hope you enjoyed it.
Good day, sunshine. Good day,
Congratulations to the 2014 graduates of Charlotte Jewish Day School. This past year, Mr. D and Mrs. Gamlin challenged you to work with a partner and use any kind of props to animate a scene from one of the short stories you read during fall of 2013. You learned about lighting, sound, color, public speaking, working with a partner, recovering from mistakes, editing, timing, and many other nuances of producing an animation video. Your projects were long in the making, sometimes fun and exciting, sometimes boring and tedious. Your projects are reflections of what you learned about the short stories you read and what you learned about animations and videography. They belong to you. As a group, the Charlotte Jewish Day School class of 16 preteens was at times demanding, sometimes presumptuous, usually caring, always fascinating. Thank you all for a year that was interesting, inspiring, challenging, and tiring. With love and best wishes for a fabulous future from your ever-favorite technology instructor, Mrs. Gamlin. You have the tools you need to be fabulous in middle school and beyond. Do your best and be your best. Save early and save often. Oh, and one more thing. Don't make me use the wet noodle. Peace out.